Yeah, what's up, guys? Okay, things looks like this. So sorry, I'm gonna be talking about something. This is oh my god, my video can work weird. I don't know why, but yeah, okay, I don't. What the fuck is happening, bro? It kinda, this coming like good picture and the smartphone keeps. Oh my god. Okay, this is like 1 hour time frame. Oh my god, it keeps happening, it keeps happening. Maybe you can increase here. Yeah, now it is obvious. So I'm gonna talk something here which is important to me, and maybe I'm gonna be using this video as a reference. This is H40. No, I mean M40. No, that was like 40-minute time frame. This is H1 1 hour time frame. So I'm gonna talk something. As you can see, we just dump it and we traded into daily swing low. So this would have been the best trade. But I don't trade reversals, and I wasn't even thinking about trading on Monday, right? And then here we came on the way, sweep it in Asia session, and in London session it just was trading like this. So this would have been a good entry. But it happens, we missed this. So what is, we closed it inside here, and this was like the largest range. We came here, we have a larger week. Nobody expected just to come and expand all the way up to here. And then today is the day I was like, okay, maybe I can look something into NQ, Nasdaq, and indices. And I came in here around 6 a.m. Here, that's when I was to the market, 6 a.m. in my home country, because I'm in Rwanda. Yeah, it is around like 11 a.m. When we are not in Eastern daylight saving time, we do have New York session at 6 a.m., which is at 13 p.m. or almost, it is at 1 p.m. I'm sorry. Sometimes my accent and my vocabulary is shit. Really happens bad. But here we have like 30-minute time frame. My debate, the way I trade, I just I don't wanna be on charts every single time I look on charts. That's why I come into before like London closes, like here, analyze at 5 a.m. 30, and then when we have made a good daily profile, I'm gonna be entering. What about this daily profile? Asia expanded into these rows, so I was like, London is gonna be consolidated, and London, boom, another expansion. So what can we expect? And I was like, I really expected these things. The signature I wanna see is okay. Asia consolidate, and then London maybe here sweep the row and sweep Asia session, and now we can come to New York session. I just put my entry immediately. For example, here enter on this, put my stop loss on London rows and aim plus 5 I'm a bit greedy, and I really honestly I can accept that. I do like to aim something big, and I can aim less than 5R. That's what I do. And so here instead, there's a reason why I just changed it to this way of trading where I came into the open of New York session. Maybe I can miss immediate entry, but if we had a good day profile, for example, I can go where we had maybe previous week on Wednesday, we had a good way. Yeah, I mean here. Is it here? No, on Wednesday we had a bad profile. Because this is the best example, but I didn't enter on this, and I'm gonna be telling you why I didn't enter on this. I just took on this day, I took a stop loss on GBP GPY. You know, I really always, I say in my journal, say okay, I'm not gonna be trading those assets again anymore. But after watching charts many times and doing replays, I have realized that those assets like GBP really moves way. They move pretty way. I don't know how I can say this, but they are even better. They move better than the way GPUSD or EURUSD moves. Yeah, I do love GPY assets because they move way. And so yeah, I was telling you this example where we had of these open. I think here we have a good weekly profile. You know, this is like this is Tuesday, right? Tuesday opened here at 18. Then we started to trade ROA. Then we made this New York session. We made the ROA on Tuesday, and this was the next day. Okay, this is daily open. Yeah, this daily candle open at 18. Yeah, I'm using Forex. This is Forex.com. Yeah, I think it's Forex.com chart. But I'm using, if we open for our time frame H4, you are gonna see we like at 17. That's where we open, but we open at 18. And so today open, if quarterly theory, we open at midnight. This is midnight open, randomly open. I just like to use H6 profiles. To profile the day candle, I just use H6 profile and nothing really bad, and it is less easier. I can say no, I mean it is simple, nothing is easy here. It is just simple, simpler than using H4. And yeah, we just created this. We made this row, daily row, and this is midnight open, and midnight open we're still in just normal time in New York time, Eastern Standard Time. And let me search, how do we call Eastern day. Oh my god, my laptop is, I can't, no, I can't say this laptop is bad because it is old, too old, bro. And this the gift I got from my uncle. Daylight savings time. Yes, Eastern daylight savings time. It started on March 8th, and here we're still in normal time on 4th March, and it opened. This was on 7 a.m. in Kigali time because we are 7 hours forward, on New York Times. I don't know if we said that or whatever, but when to see this 7, you just gotta be adding 7 hours. Yeah, just add 7 hours. That's it. Then we made it all at 1:30. Then two here we start to expand. I just come to the market at here maybe, or even here, or even here. And then I came here. I was that day. I wasn't too busy because I'm fucking in college and I'm not liking those things. So on 5 a.m. I'm like, oh my god, a bit tired, and I came here, and after watching these around the range from here to here, I was like, oh my god, if you know, T trades, I do trade T trades factor model, but there's something I do like. I do trade continuations, and I'd like to come here and maybe I come on this candle, maybe something like that, and I do like to put my stop loss on days row on row of the day. And you know when I was doing this, I just put my entry on the here, because we're on like 540, 540 and 6, it is same thing honestly. And it was like, what, there's no way you can get to like even to and I told you, I do like to am like 5R. And here I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. And while I was still looking at this chart, I went on GBPGPY and was like, wow, we have a good signature where Randan just swept something. Yeah, that was on GBPGPY, and I can show you that too. Let's go on GBPGPY. Yeah, is it on Wednesday? Yeah, I think. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Here. How, how did I lost on this sheet? Oh my god, these are some. Yeah, here I think. Wait. Okay, these are 6 a.m. Right? Okay, this is where we had that signature, that beautiful signature, and we came here. And the good thing about GPGPY, okay, I'm sorry for my camera. We had GBPGF sweeping here, and I can show you that I was before I enter into any trade, I just journaled that, and I can show you that in my notion on the same date, yeah, which was on 4th March, yeah. Okay, I'm still waiting for that. I'm gonna be telling you this. Okay, I'm sorry guys for you know this stuff tapping through this device. Yeah, we had SMT on these. I just market these like screenshot SMT, and no problem. It's just SMT, But when it is between like uh I don't know how to say this, when two, yeah, how do you call this, when two things are in the same time, when these screenshot SMT happens when we have like two quarters which are uh, how do we call this, when one quarter is over and another quarter starts. Yeah, just two quarters which are near each other. I don't know how we call this in English. I don't remember that honestly, but it happens when, for example, on Q1 and Q2, when Q2 sweeps Q1, that's sequential SMT. But when we sweep like when we sweep like any row into like Q2, that is not just, that is just SMT. It happens on uh consecutive. I think it is something like that. Okay, let me search that conse yeah, I think it is consecutive, you know following each other. Yeah, okay, we can use successive, yeah, because I don't know why, but words which contains this stuff like executive, those stuff are a bit harder for me just to read them. uh I just feel like to use like deploy, maybe when you ask me execute, because it is, that that word, it is a bit hard for me, and I'm sorry for that. Nobody is perfect, bro. I mean, and that's serious. Nobody's perfect on this planet. And for me to say that, yeah, I just told you on March, as you can see here. That's where I journaled from March. We are today on March 10, and I have took only one, two, three, four. Yeah, this is a trade I'm in, because when I'm in a trade, I just use it like this. I don't know why. I just saw the use DGPY. I don't know what is gonna happen. Yeah, today on March 8th, I just saw the USDPI, and yeah, this is the day we had the C2 on Tuesday reversal. I expected Wednesday continuation, then a reversal near continuation, and we had, okay, I can say here, and we had SMT. We yeah just we have a GFGPI SMT, so we have high probability in the above picture. I had Tuesday reversal by tapping into a free, just expected bullish price action PA bar, nothing works. I just said that too. And this is the trade before I just hit stop loss. And this was the trade. And as you can see, that's where I don't know. Yeah, it was in H1. Yeah, it was in H1, and we can just come here. March 1. Yeah, exactly. That's where I just entered. As I told you, I just come into the market and look. Okay, did we made like a change in state into London session? Yeah, London is just in Chief GPY. You sweep the row, make change in state here, which means I don't need to. I just use. Okay, I can say this is my weakness. It is something I can't outperform this, because it is in my nature. I do love to aim something big like 5 hours. That's the best thing for me. Just why, and I have accepted the downside of that. It is to wait. can sit into a trade for 5 days just to end up getting break even. It happens. You pay the price for everything you want on this planet. I just need to aim plus 5R. To aim that, I need small stop process and, you know, to aim something big, large range. That's why I came here and say, okay, we have made, and something I was gonna talk about. Another thing I know about myself, when you have been doing these things, you start to see some flaws into yourself, or I mean, it is like weakness, and there's no other way to change that except to accept that and just find a way into your model and just use it. I don't have my own model. Even if you see, I just use like something like WTG. That's like weekly range T-trace fractal model and GXT Garrett's model. I don't have my own model. It is just T-trace fractal model. So whenever you see like something, I say, okay, this is something. T-trace fractal model. We just came here, down, and it just swept this row. It is, as I told you, it is in consecutive. This is not SMT. It is something. It is just SMT. Even if I use SMT, that's quarterly theory stuff. And something else I was want to talk about. Another weakness I know about myself. I didn't know when I was starting this trading thing. I've been trading almost like a year. I'm not afraid to say that. By using my own model right now, it is like the whole year. I can say that, or even 10 months. So now I've realized that if I came into the New York session and say, okay, I'm gonna be waiting for another change in the state, I end up making mistakes. Maybe I see like, okay, I start to say, oh my god, when I'm gonna be getting another change in the state, that's not something you can control, right? Because you come to the market, London has made a row by making this like H6 C2, right? Because we swept A0, yeah, we swept A0 in GF GPY, and we cross into the range. This 5 a.m. candle, then this is 6 a.m. candle, which means if you enter here, I don't have like trading view premium. I'm using free version. That's why I can do replay, but this way I entered exactly. So I that what I was going, oh my god, I'm not good in content creation because I end up talking on the things I didn't plan. But what I was gonna tell you is when I'm gonna be waiting for like New York session to make. As I told you, this is the trace factor model, but I'm using now. I saw this one AC. I create trades. Yeah, shout out to him because I was being just using H4, H1, but I have realized that you can even use H6. It is just T-trace fractal model. It's fractal. And once you have made a row, instead of waiting for intra candle, changing the state into H6, 6 a.m. candle. Yes, H6. H6 is 6 a.m. candle. Maybe Forex time is not like this, but honestly, this is not something I just, I'm sorry. You know, I know this happens in indices using 6 a.m. open, but in every asset I trade, whether it is Forex or whatever, I just use this 6 a.m. 6 a.m. every single time. Or maybe I can enter to 5:30, whatever, because have it, you know, I use this. But what I was gonna tell you is, for me, it is easier to come here and say, okay, what into this 5 a.m. On 5 a.m., come to the market and say, okay, from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I'm gonna be doing analysis, right? Or maybe, yeah, analysis, or maybe yes, on 6 a.m. And then from 6 a.m. to 6, oh my god, how I'm gonna be holding this? Okay, guys, I'm gonna be using this to 6 a.m. 15. I'm gonna be doing like execution. Yeah, just executing. Oh my god, I'm not good in talking execute stuff. Wow, I'm not hard for myself, just I made it. Yeah, okay guys. This is for time 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. This is time for analysis. Okay, came to the market like 5 a.m. do analysis. This candle is still forming, and I don't even know. Okay, I say okay, I'm bullish now on 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's really enough time to say, okay, to make decisions, to make analysis, say, I'm bullish on this, I'm gonna be entering immediately in this. Then once we cross like this, we have a protected row here and changing state into H1 candle, and you have SMT, which means London created row, and here we have SMT. This was the best trade have ever seen into GPI assets, but I was like, how these assets are gonna be making, you know, creating the row of the day into London and then expanding New York session. It happens, many times there's a like Asian assets, they do expand, they make larger, you know, larger range in Asia. But I was like, okay, this is the best trade, just daily candle profile. Even if you just consider this 7 a.m., this was daily candle open, we're still below daily candle open, right? And we have tapped into fair value gap there. I think this 1 day. Yeah, we're still below daily candle open. Then New York's even below midnight open on some assets. Then this is SMT, and I was like, oh my god. Just something I want to tell you before I even forget that. I was telling you why I'm no longer waiting until New York session to wait for changing state. As I told you, I have like weakness, or yeah, it is weakness because I don't have like patience to see it after doing analysis. I can't see it for like, we never know. You can control the market. They say, okay, we are gonna be making the low of the day at this time, so I'm gonna be waiting to be happy, right? So for me, New York session is just from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. and no way I can sit on the chart for all of those time. Instead, I just came here, even if we even if waiting for till 9 a.m. maybe to create another row and make change in state on New York session, I can wait for that. Maybe, I'm already trading C3 candle and just waiting for this. That's the best thing because you're gonna have more confirmation, but just take risk and say, I can't wait. Because, like, for example, here, if you got, for example, in 15 minutes, you can just see, oh my god, don't know if I'm gonna be, yeah, this, okay, on this day. If you come into 15 minutes, here you can, maybe we made like a change in state in some asset. And, look at this, open, this is from 6 a.m. I have made an analysis, and I'm gonna be entering, sitting from 6 a.m. to maybe start to move here. Maybe I would have entered on this on 9 a.m. right? Imagine sitting for 3 hours for me, and I just start to get temptation. Is okay, maybe I can enter immediately here. That doesn't work for me. Instead, I just calm while London is closing a bit 5 a.m. and this analyze. Here I have a guy, everything I need, just waiting for London to close. This is like something which is time based. Price, you are using price actions and using time, which is so simple for my entries. I'm not using just price for my entries. You're in New York session and you're gonna be waiting for changing state. It doesn't mean people who trade these are bad or whatever. I just mean on myself, on my side. We all know the best traders who trade like Garrett himself, JXT. He waits for that and he do trade even femina, but that requires like you must be you must have enough experience, not only experience, you must be, I can say you must be really smart, because if I ever try to trade like 5 minutes, I'm gonna get stop that. I can have bad winning ratio, even my winning ratio now. Oh my god, winning ratio, no, fuck that, it is winning rate. So I mean, I can go to those time frames. Even, doesn't mean you must be smart only, but also you must be able to execute fast. So that's why stop. So that's why I just wait for H1. Oh, yeah, just so that's why I just came here and say, my brain works really slowly. I know that. That's another flow, you know. Yeah, nobody's gonna use that against me, but you know, my brain doesn't work fast, and that's why I'm not gonna be trading like 5 minute. Whenever 5 minute candle crosses, I start saying, "Oh my god, when did this stuff happen?" And I'm like, "What? When? When I created this?" And that's bad. So instead of doing all of those stuff, I just use things like H1. You know, for example, here we have, you know, it is price actions and what we did in previous session and combining how those session candle closed, previous session candle closed, that's H6 candle close. how how did it close? So here we close it inside the range of Asia, which means it is bullish, right? Bullish. So I'm gonna be putting my intermediate on New York Open, expecting this low to hold because that is the low of the day. I just put my entry on New York Open and my stop loss are below on the London low, right? And I'm gonna be aiming plus 5R. This is plus 3R right now. Can aim this. So I was aiming of these highs, right? I don't remember where, but it was 5R. Maybe it is like here. That's where I was aiming. But you know, that was the best trade. And plus came here, boom, boom, boom. That's how I rose. That was a loss. So let's go back to uh, these are like another trades. That's why, yeah, that's why I didn't take this because we have very challenge and I told you I love to have like, I don't know how I can say this, but I love to be having larger history of this, and I'm gonna be patient for that. So after, you know, I came here and was like, what? I can't even get like to that, you know, and where I just put these things changing state has, you know, it is something which is in my head right now. I don't need to ask myself where I'm gonna be putting my stop loss. I don't even wanna, you know, explore new stuff like new people, whatever. T trades use this, just changing state. And I just put my stop loss where on the low, on the where we have a row. Yeah, a protected row. What is a protected row? Just trading into this fair value gap, one fair value gap and swap this row. Then we have closure above these candles. This is a fractal again. You can use it in time frame. I just use these time frames and combine them with how previous session trade. That's why I was like, oh my god, I can't, you know, this is something big I can be doing. And I was afraid to take this because this rally giant, I was like, oh my god, how are you gonna be getting there? And I was like, maybe I would have entered into this. You know, that happens, you know. Maybe I would have entered on these, maybe like 3 a.m. or maybe 2 a.m. But that's not solution. You're just gonna be patient because no, we are still on March 10. Even if we are on like September or whatever, protecting my capital next year, whatever will happen, maybe market will move. You know, not maybe market will keep moving. We are gonna be getting opportunities every single month, so no reason to be rushing things. If you ever see a setup which doesn't run with you, just skip it. And it was like, okay, now I can enter this range, and I showed you the trade I took, which was April Ross, and I just closed my day like that. And that's not, we're not done with previous week because I came here on the next day. You know, as I told you, this is the first loss I took on that week. And we all know something. When this is where I was aiming, by the way, 5R, whatever, something like that. And we know something in common. When previous day fails, when it's C3, when the C3 we know. You know, I just use weekly range, weekly open. That's why I don't trade Monday because I'm like, I don't have bias for that. You know, even AM 9 is trading Mondays, but for me, I didn't change anything because I don't know how I can frame anything when you know. I just come to the market and say, okay, we are on Wednesday. That's this asset made row. And as I told you, when I was gonna say when we when previous CFI fade, we are gonna expect the next day to expand, to keep expanding. Like, yeah, that's why it is. I just mark 18 as the open every single time. For me, this was Thursday, and this is near London Open, which is here. Here, this is London Open, Q2, and this is New York session, 6 a.m. This is Kifty. So, okay, we are gonna be putting here. And it was like, okay, if previous day failed to expand, which means the next day we do expansion. And that's what happens many times if we have like daily C2 and the day we expected to get expansion doesn't happen, we expect the next day to do expansion. And that's something, I just expect this day, okay, Fed was consolidating, we are gonna sweep it and move, expand. We are not trading reversals, we are just keep trading into the the one-sided bias we have for the week. So that's why I was still bullish. And I came here, we have swept previous day, right here, we have swept previous day, and I was still bullish as I told you. And we're just gonna be waiting for London to make the low, and we have already made that. So I came here, you know, because the previous day on Wednesday I just missed that good price action during 3 a.m. I just said, okay, today I was in class and the lecture was not there, and I was like, okay, no reason I can just analyze the charts and see what is gonna be happening. And I was still in the disaster because, and this is where we're so bad, and I was here, as I told you, I just took that trade. Not only there, but so even on GPY here on 5, this was that trade. And I came here on 3 a.m. and I just wronged it here. Entered on this and I put my stop loss here. It's just and I came on these charts. It was like on 3 a.m. I'm gonna be doing expansion, and I ended up entering on this 3 a.m. We just have H3 candle closure, and we have what dream matter is that we have a change in state and high time frame candle closure, and we have a bias. This was we're still below the daily candle open, and I entered on that, aiming plus 5R again. And this is my execution here. This is where I entered, and here we were running. This was like an update on March 5. Here, this is something I just wrote here. After having these, we were expanding here, and that's exactly what we are seeing here in this picture. Just moving almost at 9. Oh my gosh, this, yeah, here almost at 9 a.m. That's why I'm making expansion. So we came here, and if I entered into Euro GPY, it was at the half guy stop loss, and I entered on that, and we had this SSMT because we swept the previous we just swept the previous quarter, and then something really happened. I just got break even because I was like, okay, we have already moved this, right? When we are still in New York session open, New York session we are 9 a.m. and I come to the market and was like, okay, I'm gonna be setting my stop loss, and I put my stop loss and here around here, right? Here on my stop loss was like here on daily open, and after a few minutes, and I got something like Nala telling me, hey, I've hit your break even, and that's not bad because yeah, that was a good price action. And after getting cooked, getting stopped out, I had these we made this move to the upside and was like, okay, done. I still aiming past 5R, and that was the previous day trade. So, that's the same thing we had in Shift GPY. So that's how I ended the previous week. Yeah, that's it, guys. I don't know if I can upload this on my YouTube channel. Maybe. That's it. I just took one loss and another two break evens on GPY assets.